Hey everyone, welcome back. Looks like we're diving into cybersecurity again. Today is January 22nd, 2025, and
Sort of.
someone's keeping up with the news. Got the McCreary Institute reports visuals from that Air Force cybersecurity exercise back in 2022. Guess we got to stay ahead of the curve, right?
Always a good idea, especially this year. Things are off to a pretty dramatic start, I'd say.
No kidding. And it's only January. So much for a quiet new year. Where do we even begin with all this?
Well, I think we got to address the big news first.
Okay.
Trump back in office and already shaking things up.
Definitely making a statement.
Yeah, firing that whole cyber safety review board on his first day back.
Yeah.
That's a power move.
For the whole board. Wow. I mean, they were right in the middle of investigating Salt Typhoon.
Right.
That Chinese state-sponsored hacking group. I mean, what do you think this means? What's the message here?
Honestly, I don't know. It's definitely a fascinating development.
Yeah.
Raises more questions than answers for sure.
Yeah.
Is it to protect American interests? Is it a sign that he's going to take a more isolationist approach to cybersecurity? Like, what does this say to China? Especially with how their cyber capabilities are growing.
Yeah.
It definitely complicates any international cooperation efforts, that's for sure.
Makes you wonder about the future of things like the International Counter-Ransomware Initiative, the CRI.
Oh.
There's an expert advocating for continued U.S. support, you know, even with the administration change.
Well, the CRI is a unique thing. I mean, it's a global effort against ransomware.
Right.
And surprisingly, it's been pretty effective. Countries actually sharing intel, coordinating strategies, even putting pressure on those nations that harbor these ransomware actors.
Yeah.
So it shows what we can do when we work together. Whether this administration will prioritize that, though, is another question.
An entirely different question. And, you know, if ransomware is tough to tackle together, what about the larger cyber threats? Which reminds me of Adam Segal's piece.
I saw that one.
Yeah, it was in Foreign Affairs. And he's basically saying, wake up. The new administration needs to see how good China has gotten at hacking.
Yeah, Segal's right to be concerned.
Yeah.
They've upped their game big time. Sophisticated, well-resourced.
Yeah.
It's not just stealing intellectual property anymore. They're going after infrastructure, meddling in elections. It's a whole different ballgame now.
So internationally, not exactly sunshine and roses, but at least domestically, we have that massive AI infrastructure thing.
Oh, yeah?
Trump announced that $500 billion project. Stargate. And everyone's involved. OpenAI, SoftBank, Oracle. 10 data centers are going up in Texas.
Wow.
I guess Texas is the new Silicon Valley.
Oh, well, hold on. It's a huge investment, no doubt. But the details. Kind of scarce, don't you think? How will this Stargate even work? What are the safeguards to prevent misuse? And what does it mean for the whole cybersecurity landscape? We need to be asking these questions.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the excitement of shiny new tech. But we got to think about the downsides, too.
Absolutely.
Especially with something as powerful as AI. It's already a big player in cyber warfare, which is another whole can of worms.
And that's where the hype and the reality, they start to blur.
Yeah.
Jason Healy's analysis in War on the Rocks really hits on that. We're not good at judging the real-world impact of cyber operations and warfare. Not the what-ifs, but the actual consequences.
He does have that framework for categorizing cyber operations, breaks it down by target, timing, and purpose. Is it disrupting communications during a battle? Or like sabotaging infrastructure long term?
Yeah, it's about understanding the why behind these attacks.
Exactly. Not just bits and bytes flying around. It's intent, goals, the potential fallout. And this isn't just some abstract military stuff either. Anyone involved in critical infrastructure.
Oh, yeah. Energy
finance, healthcare. You need to get how these cyber attacks could play out if things get real. The stakes are high, folks.
Absolutely.
We can't be caught off guard.
Nope. Yeah, and sometimes it's not even the fancy hacks that get you. It's the little things we overlook.
The small vulnerability.
Exactly. Like that NPCC study.
The Northeast Power Coordinating Council.
Yeah. They're saying the Northeast power grid relies too much on natural gas.
Right, which isn't bad in itself, but...
But this isn't a perfect world. Imagine a disruption to the gas supply during a blizzard.
Oh.
Blackouts, frozen pipes. Hospitals can't function.
That's not good.
Not at all. It makes you think how connected everything is.
Yeah, one weak link in the whole system.
Exactly. And sometimes those weak links are so basic, like passwords. Over 1 billion stolen last year. Many met those complex requirements we think are so safe.
It's crazy how much faith we put in those random characters, but complexity isn't always the answer.
Nope. You got malware like Redline Vidar Raccoon Stealer. Yeah. They're designed to grab your logins no matter how many special characters you use.
Like digital pickpockets.
Right. Lurking online, waiting to snatch your info. And once they have it...
bank accounts, social media emails...
the damage can be huge.
This is why I'm all about password managers.
Oh, yeah.
They make those unique, complex passwords for everything, so you don't have to remember them all.
It's a good start. But you also got to understand how these criminals work. Like mouse spam.
Mouse spam.
Yeah. Malicious software disguised as regular emails. Click a link, open an attachment, and boom, malware's on your device.
It's all about tricking us.
Deception. Exploiting our trust and habits. Which brings us to the whole cybercrime ecosystem. It's thriving, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a dark side of the internet for sure.
We've got botnets, which are networks of infected devices. Hackers control them. Murdoch, for example. It's exploiting IP cameras and routers.
Right.
Then there's those microtik routers. Thousands hijacked for mouse spam campaigns.
And, of course, data breaches. Every day, it's another company, another organization, conduit, a government IT contractor. Wow. A Texas state office. Even the North Pole company got hacked.
Seriously. The North Pole.
It seems no one is safe.
It really shows how big this problem is. They'll target anyone if they think they can profit.
There's a case I wanted to mention. The resentencing of Connor Fitzpatrick.
Pom-pom Purin.
Yeah, he was the admin for breach forums. Yeah. You know, that online market for stolen data?
Right.
He initially got a super light sentence. 17 days.
Yeah, I remember that. There was a lot of outrage.
For good reason. He helped steal millions of people's information.
Exactly.
Thankfully, the court saw how serious it was and resentenced him.
That's good to hear.
It sends a message that these crimes have real consequences.
Hopefully, it discourages others from doing the same.
So we've talked about politics, international issues, vulnerabilities, cybercrime. It's a lot.
It is.
But before we wrap up, I got to ask, what's coming next? What new threats are on the horizon?
Well, the future's looking interesting.
Interesting good or interesting bad?
A bit of both. I'm afraid new malware is always popping up, like P&G Plug. It's delivering ValiRat and Contacto ransomware.
Oh, no.
And it's getting really good at avoiding detection. Then there's phishing attacks using Zendesk subdomains.
Zendesk, but those are customer service emails.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why it works so well. They use our trust in those brands.
So sneaky. Always one step ahead.
Right. But there's this one ransomware. It's called NICE. It replaces file extensions with .xddd.
.xddd. Seriously. That's the name. They're not even trying to be scary anymore.
And that's why it could be so effective. Harder to detect and analyze. Plus, there's that psychological aspect. Like they're mocking you.
It's kind of unsettling.
Right. Like they're toying with us.
Right.
But okay, let's talk about government and industry. What's happening there?
Well, it's a mixed bag.
As always.
We got Trump halting wind development and declaring an energy emergency. The Pentagon's announcing new leadership positions. Okay. Analyses are showing inconsistencies in how states are doing AI policy. The UK's got that digital ID system raising privacy flags.
I saw that.
And then for laughs, Trump renamed the U.S. digital service to the United States DOGE service.
You're kidding.
Nope. Doge in the meme.
Wow. Some of these are going to have a big impact on cybersecurity. For better or worse.
It's a lot to keep up with.
That's why we're here, to help you navigate it all.
Exactly. So as we finish up part 2 of this cybersecurity whirlwind, what's the key takeaway for our listener?
This cybersecurity is more than just a tech issue. It's tied to everything. Politics, energy finance, even pop culture. You got to see the big picture, the connections, the consequences.
Well said. Stick around for part 3, where we'll explore even more of the challenges and opportunities in this crazy world of cybersecurity. Okay, we're back for the last part of our cybersecurity deep dive, and we've covered a lot. But before we send you back to your reports, I want to talk about one more piece of this whole puzzle.
The human element, I bet.
Bingo. We can talk tech all day, but ultimately it comes down to us, right?
Absolutely. Our choices, our behaviors, understanding the risks.
Exactly. And that's what makes it so interesting. Human behavior.
Yeah.
It's complex.
Yeah. And unpredictable. Think about social engineering. Those phishing scams.
Oh, yeah.
Emails trying to trick you into giving up info. They still work because they play on our trust, our desire to help.
It's easy to think, I'd never fall for that. But they're good. They know how to push our buttons, make us emotional. Let's be real. We've all clicked a link we shouldn't have at some point.
We're only human. But that's why awareness is key. Knowing their tactics, spotting red flags,
right?
Taking a second to think before you click. That makes all the difference.
It's being proactive, not reactive. And that goes for organizations, too. Training employees, creating a culture of security where people report anything suspicious.
Exactly. A strong security posture isn't just about the tech. It's about building a human firewall.
I like that.
A network of people looking out for each other.
And speaking of human behavior, let's bring back AI for a sec. We talked about the good and the bad.
Right.
But there's another side to this.
AI being weaponized.
Yeah. It's powerful. Like any tool, it can be used for good or evil. We're already seeing it. Sophisticated attacks, spreading disinformation.
Right.
Even manipulating financial markets.
It's a double-edged sword. It can help defenders analyze data, detect threats, but in the wrong hands, it's dangerous.
It amplifies the threats we already have.
Yeah.
And creates new ones we're not ready for.
Yeah, it's like this arms race. Attackers and defenders constantly trying to outsmart each other.
And that's why we need to talk about AI ethics regulation, international cooperation, making sure it's developed and used responsibly.
Absolutely.
We need safeguards to prevent misuse, thinking about the long-term consequences, not just the quick wins.
Right, shaping the future of AI so it helps humanity. Hurts it.
Okay, now let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about the role of government.
Ah, yes, the powers that be.
They have a big part to play here.
Huge. Protecting critical infrastructure, setting standards, fostering cooperation, responding to incidents.
They're busy. And it's not always easy. We've seen inconsistencies with those AI policies. The UK's digital ID system has privacy issues.
Yeah, it's a balancing act. Security and privacy regulation and innovation, national and global interests. It's tough.
At least they haven't renamed Homeland Security to DOGE e-security yet.
We'll give them time.
Oh, those executive orders Trump signed, though. Especially the ones about energy halting wind development, declaring an emergency.
Yeah.
Those are big moves. And they have cybersecurity implications.
For sure. The energy sector is already a target. And now there's this uncertainty. Yeah. This potential for disruption.
Exactly. It's not a good mix.
We need to think about energy security holistically. The physical stuff, the cyber systems controlling it, the politics influencing it.
It's all connected. Yeah. A problem in one area can cause chaos everywhere.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up this cybersecurity deep dive, what's the one thing you want our listener to remember?
Stay curious. Stay informed. Stay engaged. This field is always changing. The only way to keep up is to be curious about what's new, know the risks, and be part of the conversation.
Well said. Cybersecurity isn't just about the tech. It's about people. It's about power. It's about the future we're building together. So stay vigilant, stay informed, and happy diving.